have watched our previous videos, you would know that we used to do these crazy things, that we used to go somewhere, anywhere in the U.S. We would take a flight, and we would spend about 14 hours there, basically a whole day, from morning to till night. And we would just spend that whole day there, and then we would fly back the same day at night. And we haven't done one of those in a while, so today, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to get back to flying to a destination for 14 hours. And today, we're going to Washington, D.C. I have been there before. We have both been there before. But out of Nashville, it's kind of the only flight that looks pretty good with a high chance of us getting back in time. So, let's do it. I also had to take Bobby out, which if you don't know, he's our little puppy. Not really puppy, but we still consider him a puppy. And so he'll stay here at the apartment all day because it's a little bit of a pain to travel with him. And it is currently like 5:30 in the morning, so we need to get to the airport.
We have made it to Washington, D.C. We landed at Dulles International Airport and we're about to head into the city. We don't have really any specific plans for today. We just know we just booked a lift into the city. So let's see what we get up to. What's going on? He's walking around. Yes. Into downtown Washington, D.C. after a little bit of an interesting Uber ride. Our driver was just very much in a hurry, but we made it here safely, and we are in the Eclipse right now, which is part of the White House Park, I guess. The White House is right over there, although it is heavily guarded. You cannot even see it from here. And then we've got the Eisenhower building directly behind us. Behind Apollo is actually the Washington Monument, which we'll probably try to go to later. We do have to get reservations. But we're gonna go ahead and start our way over to the Smithsonian institutions. There's a lot of free museums here in Washington, D.C., and we're so excited to go check them out.
So I have been to Washington, D.C. a numerous amount of times. So has Melanie. And one thing that I love, but don't quite really remember, about Washington, D.C. is the amount of museums that there are here, just in the general vicinity of Washington, D.C. It's like, I mean, museum after museum. I mean, it's countless of Smithsonians and other museums that you can go into. Even near the airport, there's one. But speaking of, we're gonna go into this museum. It is the National American History Museum, Smithsonian Museum, and we're gonna check it out. So the first thing that we come across is this amazing late old fire engine that was used back in the 1800s, and it surprisingly held 100 gallons in there. But the only issue was that you kind of had to push it by hand, so I can't imagine that being easy at all, but it's pretty cool that they have it here. I know I haven't really talked very much at all about or explained anything about this amazing museum, but that's because there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of information that if I was to explain everything, it would take me forever, and this video would probably take about an hour.
And we're only here today,
so I can't be explaining everything, but we just made it to the second level, one below, and we're gonna explore what's down here. Everything has been really cool and pretty sweet. Alright, hold up. This is the first thing that we walk into, and as you all know, I'm a super techie person. Anything Apple, count me in. And what do we got here? 1984 Macintosh, and of course that was the debut Apple computer, the first Apple computer that came out, and yeah, it's amazing that they have it here, and it's also kind of small. That's pretty cool. Hey yo, I'm making my own mixtape.
Museum of American History was really interesting and jam-packed with information.
There was quite a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of information. We are heading next door to the Museum of Natural Science, and then we're gonna go get something to eat because we're starving.
And it's already past 12 o'clock, so you know we're kind of hungry and hangry. Yeah, but I will say that anytime you go into one of these museums, it's almost guaranteed, like there's no question about it, that you will spend at least 2 hours going through the whole thing. So we actually had to cut back a little bit on some stuff because time. And we actually have a reservation for 3 o'clock at the Spy Museum, which is about 15 minutes to 20 minutes south of here, so we kind of need to make it there in time. But yeah, like Melanie said, we're gonna go to this museum next door, and then from there we'll head down. Also, this may be a really stupid thing to say, but do any of y'all, like, whenever you go to a science museum, do you ever like think, oh, we went to this back in, I don't know, high school? I think that's the vibe I'm feeling. delicious lunch that actually was really good, but very expensive.
Very expensive.
By very expensive, we mean like prices.
$30 a person.
Yeah. Quality was, for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah.
So it was justifiable, but
especially since we're at the free museum.
yeah. So I guess that paid for itself a little bit. We're gonna continue on this trajectory. I think we're gonna continue on the second floor because that's what we have left, and then I don't know. We'll go from there.
Museum, like just the architecture of it, and then like the exhibits are just so neat and informational. Definitely check it out.
It's one of the ones that you definitely have to check out. We're going to go to a Starbucks to grab some coffee because you know us, we need the coffee. We're gonna go grab some coffee and then we're gonna head into the Spy Museum, which is supposed to be pretty cool. It is, you do have to pay a fee to enter that one, and it's
like $26, $27 a person.
Which we will let you know if it's totally worth it. But for now, let's go to Starbucks and start heading over there. Get this coffee and then we're gonna head into the Spy Museum. Alright, so it is about 2-3 hours later since we last got the Starbucks at the Starbucks. So we came to the Spy Museum, which is a really worth it. Like, I mean, I thought it was one of the best museums I've been into.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really interactive with like, you interact with a whole bunch of things, which is pretty awesome. And I thought it was a great museum too, and I think it was worth the price of how much?
$27 a person.
Yeah, $27 a person, which is nothing really. I mean, if you really think about it. So
the only unfortunate part is that we couldn't really film much in there, so you won't be able to really see it. They have a no filming inside kind of policy, so we couldn't really record anything, even though I did record just a little bit, but still, I mean, it's not enough for me to just make a whole sequence out of that. But anyways, so yeah, we completely suggest you do it if you're in the DC area, and yeah, that's that. So now we really don't have anything else to do because everything that's around here is pretty much museums, which they're already closed. So there's nothing to do here, really, unless you just want to walk around. But who wants to walk around in this freaking cold? Nobody, or at least not us. So we're gonna head back to the airport. Our flight leaves at 10 tonight, so hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully you enjoyed these 12 hours of us just coming here, even though it's not the full 12 hours that you're seeing or watching, but hopefully you enjoyed it, at least with what we showed you guys. And if you like this video, as always, give it a like, ring that bell notification bell. Ring the bell to get notifications.
Ring the bell to get notifications of when we post out videos. Like I said on our last video, if you've watched it, we're going to try to post a new video every weekend, preferably on Saturdays, Not sure if we're gonna stick to strictly Saturdays, but we'll keep you posted on our Instagram, which, by the way, if you don't follow us there, go follow us. I'll leave the link down below. And with that, I will end this video here, and we'll see you on our next adventure.
Don't stop adventuring.
Don't stop adventuring.